Right, so the fender coming out, it's wanting to pull it different ways. So I'm going to make a relief. And welcome. So for this video, I got to clean up a bunch of stuff. Let me get all that straightened out, turn on the light. But for this video, I noticed that my headlight tint is now starting to, show some age on it, which happens. This stuff doesn't last forever. It's starting to get a little texture in it. I think a bubble from the heat and the sun. I've had these on for probably 2 years now. So time for a change. I'm a fan of the yellow fog lights, but at a distance, I'm also a fan of like yellow headlight tint. Some people aren't, some people are. The colors is kind of a personal preference. So I got a couple rolls of this Vvivid headlight tint is all I've ever used. I'm sure there's better out there. I'm sure there's worse out there, but for Amazon, the price and a couple years, it looks good. So I'm gonna straighten things up and then we'll get to the video. I'm thinking I did headlights. I did yellow headlights on my Infiniti. It was the whole housing. I'm not sure if I want to do that again this time. I'm going to probably wrap the whole thing yellow and see how I like that. If I don't like that, I at least want the DRLs area. I want the area of the DRLs. I want that yellow to match a little bit of yellow fog light during my driving. At night when the headlights are on, I don't see a problem with using knifeless tape and trimming out here and leaving like this part black. It'll actually probably look better and more aggressive. Odds are that's the route I'm going to go, but first I want to lay the yellow down as a base. So let me clean this stuff up and we'll get going. So like I said, we're going to end up taking this film off. Up here under the hood, I didn't care too much about what it looked like. I do and I don't. Obviously the flatter, the more contact you got for the adhesive. But as far as removing the tint goes, I like to heat it up. You could probably peel it off cold and dry. I've had incidences where when I did that before, it just tore it and it just kind of made it more difficult. So if you heat it up, you just kind of loosen up the adhesive a little bit more. It could also leave the adhesive behind. So there's a kind of a fine balance with it, but it's not crazy. Just get it a little bit more pliable. Like you see, it's peeling up pretty easy now, but it's ripping. So kind of want it to stick together in one piece. So we'll heat it up. I'll pop my bezels off on my fog lights because I'm going to wrap those too. But just heat it up and remove the film. After that, I'll show you what to do next. All right, now that we got all the old tint off, see, it came off relatively well. I'm actually pretty impressed, to be honest with you. It might have had its couple flaws and its wrinkles, but that's one, it's over 2 years, and two, the edges were very good. I mean, they were on there just fine. Now, I'm no expert on wrapping headlights, but from what I've learned by doing it on my own cars, you do need to stretch it somewhat aggressive. Not necessarily. What you really want is just to pull it over because so this film, when you heat it up, it shrinks back to its original state. So what you want is for it to be nice and smooth right across this. One, it's easy to squeegee, and two, when it contracts together with the heat, it's actually gripping around these edges, and I might not have pulled enough, which left slack, which allowed it to lift and bubble up. So probably a learning curve on my end. I could be way wrong, but this is how we're going to attempt it. So as far as the needed tools, it's probably best to wash the car. I'm going to wash the entire car when I'm done. So when you use your sheet, it's going to be bigger than the headlight housing. That way you can trim it off and work with it. So the more that you put it on and off the paint and stuff, it's going to have the chance of getting debris behind it and onto your lens. Now, it's got a little bit of texture on these lenses. Like I said, maybe some of the glue got left behind. So we're going to go through a couple series of steps. One being just clean down and wipe the panel. I'm going to clean this entire car when I'm done anyway. So these clean spots I'm not going to worry too much about. I want to get up here, anywhere where that film is going to touch. So after we spray it down with a little bit of, you know, some waterless wash, cleaner and a towel, I'm going to clay bar it. I'll probably use this for one. This will be step one. Isopropyl alcohol, get the adhesive and stuff like that off, then go over it with a clay bar kit. If you don't have it, it's not a huge deal. Just make sure you get it really good with your alcohol. I'm going to clay bar it just to make sure I get even more off. After the clay bar, I'll go back with this as my third step. At that point, you got your rolls. This should be plenty, or just enough. It will be enough for the headlights, but as the fog lights, I'm not sure. So I got two of them. I'll leave the links in the description below. The link for all this stuff I'll leave in the description below. But so once your headlights are clean, you're gonna take these. My dust is my shop is kinda dusty. So I'm going to probably prep one side, or yeah, probably prep one side, do one side, and then do the other. As far as the knifeless tape goes, right here, I got some. I'm gonna do a quick brush up video on how to use this. I'm pretty sure it's straightforward, but I'd like to know, just in case there's a couple steps you gotta do first and what to expect. So yeah, after that, once you lay your film on with a clean lens, once you lay your film on, you're gonna wanna put a little heat at it and then stretch it across. I'll demonstrate that in the video. Real important to have a sharp knife. If you don't have a sharp knife, these actually work excellent, where you can snap off the blade to a fresh start. These X-Acto knives are nice too. It's just the sharper the blade, the better. What we are not going to do is cut on the paint. I think that's self-explanatory, but it's nice to mention. Also, when you're cutting along the edge, leave yourself enough film to go around the headlight housing. At the same time, try not to cut the paint. There's going to be a little gap there. You're going to want to favor the side of the panel and leave a little bit to go over the housing of the headlight lens, but I'll explain that as we go. So right now I'll probably start with this headlight, get this prepped by the stages, and then start laying the film. As far as this clay bar kit goes, I will leave a link in the description below to a video to kind of further explain how to use the clay bar. There's a bunch of videos on there, whether you watch mine or someone else's. It's good to know how to use this stuff. It's pretty straightforward, but you're gonna spray it on there, wipe it, knead it. So make sure, if you're unfamiliar with a clay bar kit, it's actually very good for your paint too. It's kind of a good video if you're interested. That'll be down in the description below. Okay, next is going to be the film part. Fully cleaned it, cleaned around it, clay bar. So now's the tint. So my plan is to basically measure it out, cut it to length. I'm going to press it over here on this edge. I'm going to hold it out, I'm going to heat it up, and I'm going to stretch it all the way across as much as I can. Out this way with both my hands, and this way to glass it over as much as I can. Once that happens, then I can peel up this corner and kind of do the same and guide it over. Then it comes to meticulous part where you kind of make sure that you get right in the grooves, squeegee it down and stuff like that. When I come across any of the steps, I will pause the video and show you, or I'll do a voiceover and explain it. So for the most part, you should see what I'm doing and understand it from there. All right, as you might have seen, I just went back and forth, heated it up pretty good. Again, you don't want the stuff falling apart. You don't want it too hot, but you do want it at least to stretch a little bit. Now, I'm not talking like stretch it, but you'll do it, or you'll understand what I mean when you're hands-on with it. But stick down the side, stretch it over. You know, you just want to work it back and forth. Only took me a couple tries. Stuff's super smooth. That's what we want. Now, so once we get to the edges, you see here, it's all that tension. We're gonna lift it up. We're gonna heat it up again, pull it over, and now we're gonna be a little bit more focused on these. So when you have different curvatures and little complications like this, I don't even want to say complication, it's just a little challenge right here because it's the parting line. You're making relief cuts is gonna help a lot. So I'll probably see I was like kind of bunched up right here. So the fender coming out, it's wanting to pull it different ways. So I'm going to make a relief cut. Try not to get down to your lens because you're still going to want that. Same thing with this. You can kind of get used to it. As you do it, you'll understand what it's trying to do. So right now it's got this big stretch mark here and then a hard corner. So I'm going to give it a relief cut here. That way everything more or less falls in its place. Again, you want to pull it a little bit so that when you cut it and then you heat it up, it does contract back where it was, but it's doing it around the edges, leaving this smooth. So again, just kind of pay attention to the little things that I'm doing here, and then you'll see how it acts. I wanted to take a second and pause the video and show you. Notice the bottom that I just cut. I'm about to hit it with the heat gun. When you do hit it with the heat gun and it's stretched properly and you cut it, favoring the panel, giving yourself a little bit more film, notice when I hit it with the heat, it grips over the side. It more or less hugs it on its own. If you did not do enough stretch, it'll pull back and then reveal some of the lens uncovered. All right, that's really it. As you can tell, the edges just fine. No issues. As you can see also with the heat gun, I laid this down and then I just scored along it with the razor blade. You don't have to dig into it as deep as you can just to make sure you cut it. You'll feel that you're cutting through it. Then you just apply a little bit more heat and just make sure it's pushed down. Gives it a nice clean line. Again, this is going to get covered by the hood, but just you want to make sure that this stuff doesn't peel back off. This is going to last a while. I know it will. After you do that, just to double check before you cut the excess off, and just in case you need to use some more material or do something with it, before you cut it off, you're gonna wanna relieve it from the panel, but make sure that you squeegee all the way up to it and then throw some heat on it. If it pulls back, you're kind of in the right area. So then if it pulls back, you'll lift it back up, you'll heat it back up, you'll stretch it over again, and again, favor the panel. Once you favor the panel and you cut that off, it's gonna leave that little bit of access, but it's not gripping on this. Then you go back over it with the heat again, you're gonna watch it curl over this. That's what you want. You take your squeegee and your card or whatever, and you'll push it up underneath there, and then go back through the edges with the heat gun again. If it pulls back over, unfortunately, you made a mistake. You can kind of fix that. I think they make glue for this kind of stuff, but I think, you know, the product does just great with itself as long as it's applied correctly. So there you have it. Nice and smooth, no bubbles, no edge issues. Again, I laid the heat on it and it's not peeling back. So as far as the yellow headlights go, like I said, I think I want to do some black in there. I don't know, I'm up in the air with it. I want to use the knifeless tape and kind of use this shape right here and black that out. I think giving it that ring right there, yellow, and then have that yellow matching would look great, and then have the black right here, that would look great. I have plenty of black left. I think I got 10 foot of it. That was also a good deal, but I bought that out of a panic, so I'm looking to use it. That for sure will be yellow. Same thing over here. And I might as well do the black. So I'm gonna skip past all that. These fog lights, pretty simple, just small, really flat. Do the same thing, just cut it, make sure it's clean, squeegee it real good, stretch it so it grips around the edges, and trim it up. And then you see me do this headlight, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. When it comes to doing the black part, I'll bring you back. All right, I'm back. It's probably been about, let's see, with all 4 lights and what I did over there as my trial run, it's probably been 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So this is what it looks like now. Just the way it is. I actually really like it. Let me show you what it's like. So this is just with the daylight running lights. That's kind of what we're looking at. I love that it matches the yellow. Obviously in person it's way better. So what I did was, here's an example. I'll explain this headlight, what I'm wanting to try and do. This is knifeless tape. Okay, so what this stuff is basically, well, tape, and it's got a piece of string in it. Okay, it's tiny, it's meant to be that way so it cuts, but it's also very pliable, so you could bend and do your curvatures and all that stuff. So you apply the tape, leave plenty of string on there because you're going to want to get that string off there, and then you pull it real quick and then you just go along and it cuts it. No blade needed. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to kind of mimic the line. I obviously want it to mirror each side, not look too goofy. But the idea behind it is to kind of blacken this shape. It's not really going to affect the headlight that I know of. If it does, I'm going to take it off. I like it better, or I like it all yellow anyway. It's a nice little change for now, but what my idea is, this is one layer of tint of the dark or smoked. It's not as dark as I normally get. What was on here was way darker and not the darkest, if that makes sense. I think this is what they call light smoke. Then I got dark smoke, and then you have, you know, stuff that I wouldn't want. So from a distance, you can see, I mean, that's got the red tape on it, but try and picture that not being there. The whole headlight is yellow, and then from a straight head on, it's kind of mimicking the shape, darkening it up a little bit. So I don't mind that. It's not that bad. I'm sure driving and the car approaching or from a distance, I'm sure it looks better than just being in here in the garage. I do like it, don't get me wrong. It's just in person, it's got its light areas, and it's kind of not what I'm fully going for. That being said, that's 2 layers of tint. Now it's pretty transparent. The way this headlight tint is it's pretty glossy on the outside. On the back side, it doesn't bounce or reflect light back into the housing. It's actually designed to, you know, almost give you the same light output. It's probably not going to be 100%, you know, the same, because it is tint over it. It's a different color, it's a different shade, stuff like that. However, one layer of tint, dark or not, like I said, they're designed to have that light output almost be the same. The thing that I'm questioning is, now I got 2 layers on it, I want to try and darken it up. I don't have the darker stuff. I don't want to wait. I can wait. If I do like what I'm about to do, then I can go for a darker one. Again, we know what we're after here. So I'm going to do 2 layers of this light smoke on this and see what I get out of it. If not, I like the 1 layer. Good thing is, when I put the 2 layers on, use that knifeless tape, it's the same shape. I can carefully peel off one and hopefully leave the other one on there. And then I think right here I made a little bit more of a sharp curve on that. Again, it was just a trial. I don't know, that's pretty close. We'll see. So that's what I'm going to do. Same rule applies. You just cut your piece out that fits. Give yourself a little wiggle room, but wipe it down or isopropyl alcohol, and then put it on, stretch it, stuff like that. It's pretty simple. Not a lot of edges and stuff. You don't have to worry about that. Just make sure you press pretty good and get it nice and creased around this. But you don't have to be overkill. Again, this string, when you pull it, it just cuts it just fine, and then you're going to get that shape. Here's the lines. Like, it did pretty good. Not sure how well you can see the line. Yeah, you can see it there, but it cut it pretty good. And then right up top, I just did the same thing, laid it on there real, you know, real nice, heated up, and then that's kind of what you get. I kind of like it. It's subtle, but enough rambling. Let me put a couple layers on this. Well, I'm back. I tried it. It came out successful. 1 layer on there, cleaned it up, take the cap off. If you don't know about the cap, I have another video on my channel when I wrapped the trunk of the Cadillac. I wrapped it black. It had a cap on it, which is just like a protective film over the top of it. Anyhow, cleaned it, wrapped it, took the cap off, cleaned it, put another one on there, took the cap off, used the knifeless tape, and yes, it was darker. It just, honestly, it looked worse. It looked off. It had the shade that I wanted, but it looked like I just put a dang like sticker on there. I don't know. This one, I like it. It's enough. I feel like driving or out there, outside and stuff, it's going to be enough. The dark stuff, probably too dark. And not to mention, it was really thick, and it's already on a layer of that, so I didn't want to go with it. But however, this is my first time ever using knifeless tape. I'm pretty impressed with this, so I'm going to show like a video, hopefully get a good angle or something so you guys can see. But yeah, definitely use some stuff like this when you have wrap projects and stuff. It comes in clutch. I love it. You just leave tail on there, peel up that string, pull the string, and then you take the red tape out from under it, and then just apply your heat and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and set you guys up. I'll put 1 layer on it. I got, like I said, I panicked one time and I bought a 10-foot roll of it. So again, Vvivid. I'll go ahead and put that 1 layer on it. I'll show you guys the knifeless tape, put the heat on it, stuff like that, and then consider it done, really. I'll go ahead and shut the hood, pull it outside, maybe even wash it, and then do kind of an outro to it. everybody, there you have it. Yellow headlight tint. Looks way better. I like it. Like I said, that the black was just enough. From a distance it looks really good, for sure. Then let's with it on. I hate how the LEDs flicker like that. I'm trying to catch up with the rate, but definitely better. I got a roll of gloss black, again Vvivid, but I got a roll of gloss black vinyl for the chrome delete. Just been waiting for it to warm up. It's supposed to be 60 this Sunday, so it's getting better. As far as that goes though, that's the headlight tint. I was gonna clean the car. I probably should now. Everything turned out just fine. Trust that the fog lights look the same. I'm kind of curious to see how the black's gonna hold up, being an overlay and stuff. Like I said, as long as you do those nice cuts, especially with that knifeless tape, and then go back over with the heat and push it down and stuff, it should be just fine. So any questions, comments, any tips, stuff like that to help me or anybody else that's watching, wondering to do this and stuff, please chime down in the comments below. Like I said, your biggest thing, just make sure that your headlight is very clean. Use that clay bar to get off the stuff that the alcohol or the towel won't. And then, let's see, just make sure that you heat it up. You kind of set it down on one side, heat it up and stretch it uniform. Stretch it over there, lay it nice and flat. Glass is what they call it, glass in it. Squeegee it out, stuff like that. Once you get to the edges, again, make sure you got a little bit of tension on it, so that when you heat it up, or the heat from the sun, stuff like that, when it hits it, it's going to want to pull it into it. So then you cut and favor the edge closest to the bumper, so you got a little bit of a tab to go up underneath your headlight. And then at that point, you know, it's game on, whatever color you want. Like I said, I did yellow on my G35 and I loved it. And then, but that's a kind of a big headlight too, so I guess after a while I got over it. I'll probably get over this too after a while, but for now it looks really good in my opinion, especially in person. It's just, in person you just way better. I don't understand it. Wish instead of the camera adding 10 pounds it added, you know, a little bit more reality, but looks way better. So that's about it. Again, everything that I used will be down in the description below. As far as the heat gun, the vinyl wrap that I use, the knifeless tape, I'll go ahead and find some. That way you guys can just click the link and throw it in your cart. Don't have to search it unless there's other brands that, again, in the comments somebody can tell if there's a better brand. The thinner stuff, this is 1 1/8". The thinner stuff you can, you know, bend around and stuff and get some better curves. This toolkit, this came with the vinyl for the trunk of the Cadillac. I'll also include that in the description. The detailer or the clay bar kit, all that stuff. That way you guys are well prepared. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you. Until next time.